This is my first time to use a Tenkara rod. It's really ideal, I think, for backpacking, which I probably won't be doing a whole lot of. But it's also ideal for small streams. It uses a 13-foot rod, or that's the rod that I have. There's no reel, and you just tie your fly line onto the end of the rod. Very, very simple, and it's real easy to make 25 to 30-foot casts. And it's a lot like fly fishing, except that you don't have the fly line and the rod to work with. This is my first try with Tenkara. Beautiful stream, but I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I only fished an hour and a half, and of that time, probably half the time I was trying to shorten my leader and muck in with the lines that I had created earlier that were really too long for use in the stream. I found that about a 10-foot line and a 4-foot leader was just about ideal for my rod. I have already switched from a dry fly that I was using to start with to a little small woolly worm, and the white thing you see is a strike indicator on the fly leader. I didn't catch but one fish, and I lost that fish. I didn't land the fish. I was trying to turn the camera on, and I was going to let it run back up to the pool where I caught it, and it got off, but I would have released it anyway. It was about a 7-inch rainbow, which is really a good sized fish for a stream like this in the Smoky Mountains, where there's no stocking, and all the fish are native, or at least have raised in the stream. And I was fishing really too close to the road. I don't guess I got 100 yards up the stream from the bridge where the road is crossed. I'm sure if you would hike farther back in there that you'd find a lot more of the small fish that I was looking for. Really enjoyed it, and I hope to try and catch some around and try it in some of the streams around North Georgia where I live. I started fishing with a dry fly, and the water that I was fishing was moving much too fast for a dry fly. I was fishing on the road too, and too close to the road where everybody fishes, I'm sure, to start with. I soon switched. I shortened my leader quite a bit, about 4 feet, and I started using a woolly worm. And the one fish I caught was, or fish that I hooked really well, was on the woolly worm. And it's real easy to get a good drift with the Tenkara rod. And I really think that you don't have to worry about matching the hatches on this stream or any stream in the Smokies, because there are very few hatches to match. Most of the time the fish are just waiting for anything to come down through their little hole, or their little part of the world. And I think the most... Well, I hung my first rainbow right here. I didn't set the hook on it at all. I just saw him bite. And the most important thing is either on top or underneath. And I imagine that a nymph or a wet fly is going to be the most productive in these types of streams, but I really haven't fished enough to know. In the hour and a half that I was on the stream, not fishing the whole time, but I really didn't fish but maybe 4 or 5 halfway decent holes. And what I mean by that is holes that you cut and just absolutely see the bottom to the point you know there's no fish in there. No ledges or rocks for them to hide under or stuff like that. Very, very few places like that. But I really probably didn't fish over 100 yards up the stream. So if you had enough time and you would hike farther back up the stream, I think the farther you go, the fishing would get better. I believe it would. I want to give it a try one of these days. The white strike indicator, I traded it out for a nymph, nothing more than a hook with a bead on it and a little shiny stuff wrapped around it. I'm still fishing with a woolly worm at this point. Raining just a little bit, but not enough to really get you wet. It was, if it hadn't been raining, I'm afraid it'd be too hot at this elevation. At least too hot for my likings. Here I'm trying a slingshot cast. Works pretty well for the first try. You just shoot it like a slingshot, I guess. I saw it on YouTube anyway, and it lets you get under brush and stuff when you can't cast it in any other way. The real thing I like about this Tenkara is the simplicity and the ease of use on a small stream. I don't think I got hung a single time in the hour and a half that I fished. Well, I know I didn't get hung a single time. There's no guides on the rod, and that's another source of getting hung up. And fishing with such a little small hook, it doesn't hang on sticks and stuff near as bad as a normal size hook. It was not as tight as a lot of streams in Georgia, but you don't have to back cast with it like you do a fly rod. You can just bring it up to 12 o'clock and do what I would call a roll cast with a fly rod. It really works pretty well. You can leave it pretty much the way you want to and fish with it, and then clean it up when you get home. I'm going to make a bunch more leaders that I think will be a lot better for the smaller streams to fish with, and maybe some longer leaders where you have room to do a little bit of a back cast with them. We camped 3 nights up at Balsam Mountain. The elevation is slightly over a mile high up there, and it's unbelievably cooler at that elevation than it is just down in Maggie Valley, for example. We rode down to Maggie Valley one day, and it was 86 degrees in Maggie Valley. And when we got back up to the campsite where we were camped at, it was 69 degrees. Just an unbelievable difference in temperatures. It's almost always cool enough at Balsam Mountain till you don't need to run your air. And you have to run a generator if you have air right there because there's no electricity. But it's a place Dee and I really like to camp. Probably Dee more so than me. But it's a wonderful place.